Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you my scripture writing for all of this year. I started off in a Hobonichi Teacho, the English version, and this is an A6 size. And everything that I talk about I will link in the description box below for you guys. So this is an A6. This is what I started in, and about mid-year I was running out of room from everything that I was writing down with my scriptures and my Bible study, so I switched over to the Cousin, and this is the Avec, so I used July through December. So I'm going to give you a flip through of both of them and kind of explain what you see. I have covered some things up with scrapbook paper that I don't want to be out on the internet, but the rest of it I'm going to show you guys. So we're going to start with this one, and this is what I started with, like I said, for the beginning of this year. In the beginning I did put a model prayer and just some little notes. These are all from one of the Happy Planner sticker books. And the entire reason that I picked this planner up was to use it for scripture writing. So this was the beginning of the year. I started this out using it a little bit in December, and then COVID hit in March. And I never went back and filled these pages in. I really didn't find a use for them. The monthly spreads, I started out just writing anything down that stuck out with me for the month. Sometimes it was songs like here or scriptures. These are some of the words from the Bible that are used to talk about God and who He is. And then that was all that I decorated. I didn't do any other monthly spreads. So this is, like I said, the English version of this planner. And so everything is going to be in English. The original version is not in English, and I will show you that in the description box. So the first scripture writing plan that I started was this one, and this is from Just Plain with Shan on Instagram, and then she also has a blog. I believe she either has an Etsy shop or a website where you can purchase some of her work. So I just printed this, cut it out, and then put it in. And this was just washi tape that I had at home. And I did want to show you, I'm going to try to show you every page that I can. So this video might be kind of long, but I am going to try to flip through everything quickly. So I would just write out all of my verses. And this was the first year that I really did this consistently, and I really saw a huge change just in my thoughts and my mindset and my prayer life. Everything this year really changed, I guess, for me. So here is February. And as you can tell, some days, you know, life happens, and I didn't have that quiet time in the morning. For you guys, it doesn't have to be in the morning. For me, that's the best time for me. And I can definitely notice a difference in my spirit, I guess, on days that I miss that quiet time in the morning. So typically what I used, the pens that you see are gel pens, Papermate flares, and then I did use some Frixon erasables. So I wrote this down Thursday, March 12th. That's when we were told that school would be closed for 2 weeks, and you know, like everybody else, this has never happened before, so I just wanted to take the time to document that. What to do in a crisis. This was really relevant for everything that was happening in March. I saw this on Instagram and it just really resonated with me, so I went ahead and wrote it in. And then on March 23rd, we were told that schools would be closed for the rest of the 2019-2020 school year. So that was a big thing that I think everybody was dealing with. So then here we have April, and I was doing the scripture writing plan, and I was also doing some study. So I was going back to the categories that I have used in previous years, like to focus on the verse, and then I would pray about it. Then I started to write in the context of what I was reading. And I believe this was Easter. This is when I started using my Tombos more. These are all Tombos. And these are my Crayola Super Tips. So this I did flag because I want to transfer this to my 2021 scripture notebook, and this was from a sermon that I watched from Dr. Charles Stanley, and it's the characteristics of a godly mother. May, obviously, as you can tell, was very hectic, and a lot of things happened in May. Things I can't really go into, but I will say that God always sees things that we don't see. So if you're going through something, just keep that in mind, that we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and we'll never know the larger picture of the plan that God has in store for us. So this was June, and these washi strips I made just at home. I was just kind of playing around with it. It kind of bulked up this planner, not in the best way, because I put them all in the same place on the top and the bottom. It made it kind of awkward for like when I was writing, because of that bulk started to stack up. So I'm definitely not going to do that next year. So all the rest of this I ended up not really filling out. This was just some watercolors, and by this time, I think by the middle of June, I had already ordered my cousin. So this is the full year, so I still have a good 6 months in here that is blank, and I'm not going to say that I won't use this. I probably will end up using it for something because these pages are still good. So that wrapped up the first half of the year. So the second half of the year, like I said, I moved into the cousin. These I made at home, and then this was just washi tape. I did have a cover from Salty Katie on this that I since have taken off. I did try to use this as my work planner, which I'm not really going to get into today, but those pages I'm not going to show because they don't really have anything to do with scripture writing, but this planner did not work for me as my work planner, I'll just say that. So we have just some washi tape. I've seen people do this, so I just wanted to give it a try. It didn't come out the best, but I kind of just slapped it on there. And I mean, it's pretty, but it's not really my thing. So this was the front. And I decorated these with stickers and just some taped in vellum, but honestly, I don't ever look at the yearly layouts, and so for me, it just wasn't functional. I tried to use the vertical pages. They just didn't really work out for me either because I just forget to look at them, to be honest. So the monthly, some of them I did use for gratitude trackers, but I also do this in my other planner, my passion planner. So I think I only did this for maybe 2 or 3 months. Yep, 3 months. And then I set it up for October, and this is when we were going back and forth between virtual and face-to-face. So I'm just going to skip these weekly sections right here because this is just regular planning. So this is, let's see, the week of November the 9th. And this is when I started utilizing the weekly pages, which I'm still really figuring out for my quiet time and my prayers. So these are all daily prayers for this week and some scripture. And these are more prayers and scripture. Then I started decorating. And this is the current week that we are in. So we're in the middle of December. And the first 3 days I did scriptures, and then this was a prayer. Today it's Friday, and these came from, I think, Cami Renee on Instagram, and I will try to link her in the description box. She sends out a weekly newsletter that has prayers and scriptures, and her prayers, the way that she words them, it's like God knew exactly that's exactly what I would need for that day. So I'm going to link her below if you want to sign up for her newsletter. She also goes live a lot on Instagram. So this is the week of Christmas, which I will use, and then I will switch over to my 2021. So after your weekly spreads, then this comes into the dailies in this planner. And like I said, the entire reason I bought this was for scripture writing. So I'm going to show you all of my pages. Like I said, what I'm using for the hand lettering is mostly just my Tombos. And this right here is just an erasable pen. And as you can tell, like for example, this page right here, this whole thing never would have fit on one of these pages because this is just so small. The A6 I think is great if either you have really small handwriting, which I don't think my handwriting is that big, but the more I started getting into scripture writing and really studying the context of what I was reading, it kind of just took over. And the more that I read and the more that I learned, the more that I wanted to keep reading. So like I said, it's been really great. If you guys are thinking about starting scripture writing for 2021, I would highly recommend it. It doesn't have to be anything long. I mean, I did this in the morning with drinking my coffee and prayer and reading. This took like maybe a half hour, and I was able to get, that done before my daughter got up and we had to go to school and work. So some days I didn't have time, like right here, it just didn't work out, but I'm telling you, even 5 minutes that you spend with the Lord is better than none. So like I said, just a lot of scripture, a lot of kind of moments of reflection, I would say, in the morning. You can do this at night. For me, I'm just too exhausted once I've had a long day. It's just a little too much. I also put in, like, this was a sermon by Rick Warren that I watched, and if you've ever seen his sermons, they're very detailed. So I just used up 2 pages because this notebook, I guess, my scripture writing, is all about growing as a Christian, and so anything that has to do with the Lord or my faith, I normally put in here. I did use this as a little bit of note-taking for our ambassador meetings and some journaling, which obviously I covered up. I tried to use this, like I said, for some work things, but it just wasn't functional for me. So here is September, and this is just scrapbook paper that I taped in. I'm going to do something similar to this when I use my cousin for 2021, and then also I'm using Astrology for next year that I'm going to show you guys a setup of. But if you're thinking about putting scrapbook paper in, one thing I didn't really like, and this may not bother you, but for me, I don't like how when I have to like turn both pages. So I think next time, well, what I've started doing is cutting these sheets down a little more and just taping them completely in. So basically they become a page. Now, I had done this previously because I wanted to use, well, I thought I was going to use this page, and, that day it didn't happen. But just a little tip that I learned. And I am going to make another video sometime in January just going over all of the supplies and the resources and the study materials that I use. This is when I started really scripting out my days for my the Planner Perfect method, and if you guys are interested in that, I will leave that link down below. So some of that I didn't really want to show. This is just an example of like scripture prompts that I wrote down that I thought I might want to use, or prayer prompts. And this is just me studying the context, which I really love to do. this was just an election thing I wanted to document and write down. And if you guys are into Bible journaling and scripture writing, I have an Instagram that is just devoted to Bible journaling and just sharing what the Lord has been teaching me. And so I will link that in the description box down below if you guys want to come on over and we can talk about what you guys are learning, and I'm going to share what I'm learning. And I really just want to lift other people up and just let them know that, you know, like I said before, that we will never fully comprehend the larger picture that God has in store for us and in plan for us. So that was the end of November. We are now in December. And all of these stickers that are on here are from one of the Happy Planner sticker books. I'll try to link that down below. It might be discontinued because it is a pretty old sticker book. So this is today, and then we have tomorrow, and then I wrote my scriptures. I just went ahead and wrote them in so I don't have to have my phone with me, because I just like to not use any, well, I use my iPad for this app that I'm going to share with you guys later. That's just been amazing. But other than that, I don't really want to have my phone with me. So I went ahead and pre-decorated for Christmas. And then that's the rest of the year. And then I will move into my next planner. So that is my scripture writing from July through December. And this is January through June. I hope that you guys found this helpful and encouraging. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm so grateful that you guys are here. I'm so grateful that you're watching my videos and that we are learning together and just chatting. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will not have a new video next week because next week is Christmas, but I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season, and I will talk to you in the new year.